2023 has been a great year for gaming, with plenty of titles that blew us away. From remakes to amazing open-world games to story-based titles, there's something for everyone this year. But that doesn't mean it's all sunshine and rainbows. For every industry-changing mega hit that we've seen this year, there are dozens more games that have disappointed fans and frustrated players to the point of breaking their controllers. I'm Josh, welcome to Hotfix Gaming. Today, let's look at the top 10 worst games of 2023. So, let's get started. Number 10. Madden NFL 24. This year's Madden is pretty much the same as last year's, but with an updated roster and a few minor improvements. It's no wonder that Polygon nicknamed it the iPhone of video games. Just like the very famous smartphone, every year EA churns out a product that is usually better, but only barely necessary after last year's. There isn't much innovation happening to warrant spending your hard-earned money every time a new title drops, unless you're dead set on having the most up-to-date roster. For some, this might be their very first Madden they've ever tried, in which case the purchase is justified. But seasoned players might find that holding off on buying the newest title is best. Who knows, maybe next year's game will have more features added and more improvements to justify that purchase. Number 9. The Walking Dead Destinies. At its core, The Walking Dead Destinies is a third-person adventure game where players navigate through familiar settings from the TV series, such as the hospital where Rick wakes up, Herschel's farm, and the prison. The title promises to immerse players in the world of the very popular Walking Dead franchise, but it fell short of its potential, leaving fans and gamers alike disappointed. From game-breaking bugs, crashes, inconsistent frame rates, to a combat system that is described as the worst experiences in gaming, it is incredibly hard to find something positive to say about this title. The Walking Dead Destinies had the potential to be an exciting addition to the franchise, offering a new way to experience the beloved series. 8. Avatar: The Last Airbender – Quest for Balance. Just like The Walking Dead, Avatar is an incredibly successful TV show that tried to push into the gaming market, but failed miserably. While the potential is there, many of the exciting moments that fans wanted to see in the game got dumbed down to simple text screens, while the ones you get to play through are presented out of order, making it all confusing as heck. It's not just the story that fans are complaining about, the gameplay is also touted as incredibly lazy, with its missions consisting mostly of your character moving from point A to B in a linear environment, which doesn't allow much exploration. Kinda sounds similar to a mobile game like Subway Surfers or Temple Run, except this title is a console game. Camera movement and combat are just awkward and clunky, with combat eventually boiling down to button-smashing nonsense. With all the success the TV show has, it really feels like this video game adaptation was made with the loose change the executives happened to have in their pockets during the pitch meeting. An awful step backwards for the franchise. 7. Grey Hill Incident. While some gamers recommend the Grey Hill Incident for its atmosphere, this indie survival horror game has just that, and nothing else to offer. Grey Hill Incident largely consists of the player skulking around the titular town under the cover of darkness, which, to be fair to it, is its strongest suit. However, navigating Grey Hill is hard because of how pitch black it is, and the torch you're given is no respite as it seems to immediately alert the extraterrestrial threat who, it should be noted, are faster than you are. So it's impossible to run from them. It's hard to hide from them, and it's not much fun to fight them considering how slow your character moves and how little ammunition there is to be had. The game never really tells you where to go, and you're in for a pretty miserable time. Grey Hill Incident isn't even that long, but it's longer than necessary because it simply seems to set you up to fail every step of the way. Any potential this game had feels squandered very quickly. 6. Crime Boss Rock-A City. What do you get when you assemble a star-studded cast that includes Michael Madsen, Chuck Norris, Danny Trejo, Danny Glover, Michael Rooker, and Kim Basinger, among others, and put them into a video game? Well, apparently no more budget to make an actual good game. The game sits at 52% on Metacritic because of a bad story, poor dialogue and voice acting, game-breaking bugs and more. Proof that a celebrity cast cannot save a game if it's void of anything interesting or fun. The gameplay in Crime Boss is rigged with bugs, most of which are basically game-breaking. Players can get trapped inside walls, enemies can fail to fully spawn, littering the battlefield with invisible NPCs that make actually finishing the mission borderline impossible. As a live service game, there's a chance Crime Boss cleans up the bugs, but it will still be left with mindless missions, an incomprehensible story, and a disappointing lack of customization. 5. Blood Bowl 3. A tabletop-turned-video game, Blood Bowl has its fair share of fans who were highly anticipating the sequel, Blood Bowl 3. Unfortunately, upon its launch, the game was in an unplayable state. With the game focusing around strategy and making decisions in long games that can take up to 30 minutes, disconnects ran rampant while playing, losing progress and essentially wasting your time. Not only that, the only part of the game that actually worked at launch was the microtransaction store, which was absolutely zero help. The developers had promised fixes, but unfortunately the damage was already done. 4. Skull Island Rise of Kong. There's been some bad games on our list so far, and more to come, but Kong really gets a special mention as not just a broken game, but also an unfinished one. Perhaps the most infamous moment of the game went briefly viral because of just how unbelievable it was. A poorly designed Kong smashes untextured rocks in a fit of rage after recalling a memory of a dinosaur captured as a PNG image flashing up on the screen. Its visuals are horrible even compared to the movie tie-in. The combat consists of simply beat-em-up mechanics, and what would be a lush, engaging environment is severely hindered by poor level design. Game Mill Entertainment, the same publisher of Quest for Balance and Walking Dead Destinies, reportedly forced developer Iguana B to get the game out in a year. It's no surprise then that it turned out to be such an abysmal mess. 3. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. One of the most recent disappointments of this year comes from none other than Activision with their newest installment of the Call of Duty franchise. No doubt by now you might have heard that Modern Warfare 3 was allegedly supposed to be an expansion of Modern Warfare 2 instead of its own game. It's probably fair to say this wasn't just a rumor. With the shortest campaign any COD fan has ever seen, an uninspired zombies mode, a multiplayer that has too many serious problems for it to be enjoyable, and microtransactions that are borderline pay to win, the 2023 Modern Warfare 3 is the COD installment with the lowest ratings ever. Just comes to show Call of Duty should strive for more quality over quantity, rather than just being a yearly franchise. 2. Redfall. Arcane Studios is a renowned developer behind titles like Dishonored, Prey and Deathloop. Anytime Arcane has something new to release, gamers everywhere get excited. Sadly, 2023 has not been their year. Redfall was one of the many games continuing the greater conversation about games launching in unfinished states, and it was one of the most prominent for a few reasons. For one, it was plagued with all manner of performance issues on launch to the point where it became the laughingstock of the industry. Additionally, it was polished as a tentpole title for Game Pass this year and wasn't even worth that month's charge, let alone a standalone purchase price. Even aside from enemies ignoring physics and collision detection, frame rate issues and crashes, the game was also just dull. It featured underwhelming mission structures, a lack of truly original features, and a bad multiplayer setup where progression was tied to a party host, meaning you'd start all over again if playing by yourself or with a different group of friends. Redfall just doesn't feel like the next-gen game it was supposed to be. Number 1. The Lord of the Rings Gollum. What's there to say about this game that hasn't been already said? At 38% on Metacritic, The Lord of the Rings Gollum is not only one of the worst games released this year, but will likely go down as the biggest waste of licensed IP in gaming history. Daedalic did so poorly with the game that its negative reception led to the company shutting down its development department. Instead, Daedalic now solely focuses on publishing moving forward. The game was originally announced in 2019 with a 2021 release, but it only made its way into store shelves this year, and to everyone's surprise, the final product barely resembled the epic RPG they had promised. The graphics had been majorly downgraded when compared to early promo screenshots, while a majority of the game's complex decision-based mechanics had been boiled down to inexplicable one-word choices like spider or argue. Worst of all, the game was prone to frequent crashes, making it impossible for some fans to play and for some critics to even finish reviewing it. The game was so bad that the developer had to issue an apology online before closing their development department. But what's worse, it was revealed months later that Daedalic had not even written the apology letter, which, by the way, misspelled the name of the game. Members of the development team revealed that the publisher behind the title, Nacon, used ChatGPT to generate the apology without consulting the devs at all. Can you think of a messier and more frustrating game than ones we've mentioned today? Let us know in the comment section below. And if you want more gaming content and need a palate cleanser after all of those atrocities, make sure to check out our top 10 hyped video games that delivered, and also 10 video games ahead of their time. Both videos are linked here.